Does my life matter? See, when I'm asking that question, I'm not asking which way you politically lean or which institutions you support with your financial means. In or out of that context, the meaning of that question still remains the same. Does my life matter? See, for some reason, when I ask that, people believe that I'm in cahoots with the organization. But I've been brown skinned since I emerged out of my mother's womb circa 1992. You're telling me that you think I didn't believe that my life mattered until 2013? Does my life matter? I mean, think of that word. Matters. You know, worst case scenario, that means something that physically exists. And best case scenario means something that's really important. You're telling me you can't admit that my life fits anywhere on that spectrum? Does my life matter? I mean, I know you believe that all lives matter, but that'd be like if we had Shark Week and you sat there and said all fish matter. I never said they didn't. It's just that this week we're going to acknowledge sharks. By the way, isn't a shark a fish? I mean, where are we really going with this? Does my life matter? And not just as a hashtag, does it matter as my pants sag into the depths of poverty? Will you be here more than once every 4 years? Will you hear me when I cry out that living here in this environment is impossible? Or will you make me shuck and jive my way into decency, teaching me that the only dreams I can have of making it out of here are being a baller, a rapper, or killed in the streets so I can be immortalized as a legend? I'm starting to realize that my life is probably worth more dead than it is alive. Does my life matter? Or is it a dark stain on your imagination? One nation, under God, divisible on the basis of my black skin, with liberty and justice for everyone except me. Oh, say can you see my plea to survive, or did your glasses get stuck somewhere between 1776 and 1865? Does my life matter? I mean, I get blasted for protesting lashes of racism, yet you protest a mask? Like, you're sitting there asking to breathe comfortably. I'm just sitting here asking to breathe. You don't see the irony in that? Does my life matter? Will they need to empty half a magazine into my back before you're willing to admit that there is a problem? See, these are my fears, and they're based on reality. I get pulled over regularly on the case of DWB with an officer that sits there and makes up traffic laws and calls to pull out his gun and be trigger happy. But see, in those moments, I'm sitting there literally to myself quietly praying to God that the next time my family sees me, they won't be looking to put me 6 feet deep into the ground. Yet you hear that, you pound your fist on the desk, and you pass a sheet and say, here are the statistics that say that your fears are invalid. How cold and callous do you have to be to see and hear me explain my pain and respond with a response that tells you that this is a good idea to let this fall on lame ears? Does my life matter? Or will you put it on hold while you gather the facts? And isn't it funny how those facts are packaged into a box that conveniently lines up with every opinion and thought you had going into it? Like, are you trying to hear me out, or are you trying to win an argument? And if it's the latter, what are we arguing about? I'm just sitting here expressing that life in itself is precious. Does my life matter? Can you not breathe just a little bit of sympathy? As a father, a brother, a friend, and a son was shot and killed for the entire world to see. Like, can you not just think for a second before you speak or tweet? Can you not give my loved one just a little bit of time to grieve? Does my life matter? Was I not created in the image of the Yahweh you worship on Sundays? Or are those just words that you spew from pews that reek from the stink of your political views, which don't line up with Yahweh's text, by the way? Does my life matter? Maybe to you it doesn't. Maybe to you I am nothing more than a second-class Samaritan who lacks dignity. See, maybe in your mind you can't wrap it around the prospect that in that parable you weren't the hero, you were on the side of the road. So you asked who your neighbor was, and you were told that's the person that you hate the most. And it shows, because by the time you were finally able to comprehend what he was saying, and he asked who your neighbor was again, you couldn't even say my name. You know, maybe we're making this too complicated. Maybe we're thinking too hard about this. I'm not asking for a handout, and no one's handing out a crazy wish list. I am simply here to ask a question because I'm tired of all this conversation, and I can't say any more of this pointless chatter. Does my life matter?